In today's video, we are going to study master level, master class endgames, and we have a position in front of us. And just we assess this position that white has 4 pawns and black has whereas 6 pawns, and black is threatening to advance these pawns. And in first instance, it looks like that black is winning. And the thing is that black is going to move this queen b6, then he's going to advance his pawns with sport. Now it is white's turn, and I want you people to pause the video and think that how white could play in this position and draw. And I hope you have understood that the first thing is that you are going to give the check, and the king have to move. Okay. Now the main point is that you are going to make one advance pawn out of these 2 pawns. And how we do it? Like this: queen d4 check, king g8. If king moves to, for example, king h7, this is a mistake actually, because queen f4, threatening the queen and threatening to take the pawn on f7. And the black queen can't move to b7 because of this pawn over here on a6. The queen would move to b6, or it may move to just only e8, protecting this pawn on f7. So, so it is an immediate win for white over here. The main move, the main move for black is over here is that king g8, king back to 8th rank. Now how to continue? How we can make advanced pawns of this? And the move is b6. The reason behind is that black can't take with the queen because one queen takes, pawn takes, and this pawn is going to queen in just 2 moves. So black has to take with the pawn. And if you have not seen the counter move over here in this position, then it is of no use. And the counter move over here for white to draw the position is queen a4. And now if you see, first black was winning, which was seemed to be winning. But now it is white who is going to win because he is threatening to queen the pawn in just 2 moves. And black has to stop him, and that is queen a7. Now, in this position, you have to think again. The point is that you are going to bring this queen to b7, and how you can do it? By giving the check first, then bringing the queen to c8, then you are going to move this queen to b7. So, after queen e8 check, king g7, queen c8. In this position, if black does not anything concrete, then he's just losing because this queening is just coming to b7. And I want you people to pause the video and think that how black can draw this position now. The point is that if you look at the white king, his light squares are very weak. And if black queen come over here and give the checks like this, or come over here like this, give the checks, or he would be able to take this pawn on f2, give the check to the white king, then he can draw. And to do that, the main move over here is that b5 for black, because after queen b7, now queen d4, centralizing the queen and now going for the checks. It is still not simple over here because after a7, you give the check, king to h2. Now how to continue? Again, I want you people to pause the video and think that now how to continue. And the point is that this pawn is not protected. And black can continuously give checks like this to the white king. So queen would move back to queen d4. Now 8 queen. These two queens are completely out of the play because these are being stopped by these pawns, pawn chain. And that's why black is able to win this game. Draw this game. Queen f2 check. Now king h3. How to continue? The point is queen g1. The reason behind is that I'm going to give you the check, well, and checkmate, because white king can't move over here, and white is forced to move this pawn, and that is g4. Now black can continuously start checking the king. Queen e3 check, king h2, queen f2 check, king moves to h1. Now queen check, and there is no way that white can make progress in this position. I hope you have understood the concept that you have to think out of the box. In the positions, there might be something that may help you to draw the game or win the game. We come back to our next position. These all positions have been taken from the book of Jeremy Silman. Jeremy Silman Chess and Games, I think its name. It is showing in the video also. You may check that book. It is not, the video is not sponsored. It is just that this book is very best for the beginner, intermediate, advanced, and expert level players, and even masterclass level players. So we have this position, and here white is to move, and white is already winning this pawn and queen. That, but his one simple mistake can ruin his win. And I want you to be think and calculate that how white can move, and black will be out of the checks. And the move over here is queen to c2. Sorry, queen to c7. The reason behind is that now black can't give check like this and coming back continuously give checks. So he has to move. For example, king moves to g5 is being played, for example, by black. Now the point is that you're going to play the move pawn to b7, and after g4, now the first is that h into g4. You can't immediately make the queen because now it is a win. Queen has to take the pawn. Pawn to pawn check, queen into g3, and it is a draw. So h into g4 first. Now black tries desperately by playing the move h3. Now what to do? Black is giving the checkmate over here on g2. Save it. Queen c3. Now white queen is out of the diagonal, and black is going to keep the checks and e4 check. Now king into h3. These squares are protected. This square will get protected because after queen, for example, if no, there is no way that it can give the check, so it comes to f4. And now the move is, for example, queen f3, and here black can draw. How he can draw? The reason is that queen a6 check, king e3, queen e6 check, king f2. Now queen d2 check. King has to move. If queen comes over here, now queen f4 check, and there is no way that white can avoid checks. Then how to continue? The point is that you're going to give the check first to the black king. The king has to move. If king moves to, for example, g8, then now the first thing is that it is very tricky also. Still present, it is tricky. I want people to pause the video and think that how I can win in this position. What is the move? The point of the move is that now g5. If this queen takes, you can pin the queen. So black can't take the pawn. And this square, this file is being covered now. And black queen can't give checks over here. So if, for example, f6 now by black, challenging this pawn. Then the point is queen b3 check. Now king g7, and now you can make the queen. This queen can come over here. I hope you have understood the concepts behind this. That's one move. For example, in this position, if white plays immediately this move, b7, now it is a draw. There's no way that white can escape this draw. Okay, I hope you have understood the concept behind this position. Now we move back to our next example, next position, and this is the one. This is actually I'm going to discuss the first position, which is in the Jeremy Silman's book. In this position, the king is on g1, and the second position we would discuss is the king is on h2. Sorry. So here, black to move and draw. If it is white's move, he is easily winning because of this. He will take the pawn immediately. It is completely winning for white. But now it is black's to move. This game was played between Rubinstein versus Capablanca, and Capablanca was playing black. And Capablanca understood that this pawn is a corner. I have to do something, otherwise, white is going to win this position. So I want you people to pause the video and think that what is the best move for black over here in this position. The move for black in this position, and Capablanca thought, was the b4 move. The reason that king is on g1 and black can deliver checks. And if this, he can get open this file. The move played in the game was queen into c5. And it just went completely for a draw for white. Because now queen b1 check, king h2, and queen into a2. And this passed pawn is a very tough thing for this white. And now it is white's turn to draw. He will have to fight to draw this game. I'm going to let you show the people the game which was played after queen c6 was played by Rubinstein. a5 was played by Capablanca. Queen e8 check, king h7, queen e4 check, g6. Now queen h4 check, king g8, and white continuously gave the check like this way, and draw the game. Here the best try was in this position after b4 was c4. How is that? Here it was the best try for white to go for win. The reason behind is that if black plays immediately now b6, after a into b3 and queen into b3, now white takes this pawn and this pawn is fallen. And he can come over here, threatening this queen. Black is soon out of the checks, and king will be safe like this. That was the reason the b6 move over here is wrong. So after b4, just after c4, now queen c8. The point is that to protect this pawn and this pawn. And now black queen has just the duty of protecting these pawns. And it is white that who can slowly evolve his position. And the move is by queen b6. Still keeping the eye on these two pawns. And here black has to take the decision. that whether he is going to just get passive by defending these two pawns, or he can get active. And the point is that he must get active. If white takes this pawn, if pawn is fallen, no problem. Black can go after this pawn on a2 or c4 pawn. So black gets active by playing the move queen f5. Now it is a check over here. White takes the pawn, queen into a6. Now king h7 first. And it is a very crucial move. King a7. Instead, if black can also try the move queen e5. The reason behind is that now he is going to give the checks. King will come over here. Will come back again for the check. And this is a better try than the move king h7. Because if over here white plays the move g4, now g6, king can come over here. Now queen a8 check, and king can just tuck it over here, king g7. After queen a4, now first queen e4. Black is going for these types of checks. Queen b3 by white, stopping this check. Now the move is, you may just move your king. For example, king h7, you can move your king in this way, and there is no way that white can make progress in this position. And if king h7 by black, then how it is bad for black? The reason behind is that now queen a7, sorry, queen a7, and the move is f6. Now this king is in this square. He can just go over here. And queen e7, it is as per the Jeremy Silman's notes that queen e7 is the best. But I would say that in this position, f4 is much better. That is queen e7. The point is that you are going to bring your king like this. Because now after queen c8, for example by black, protecting this pawn, the check does nothing. It just develops the king. So if queen c8 going back, now the move is queen b6, giving a just a tempo move to this queen. Queen comes back, queen f5, now king h2. And now this white queen is free to move. And he can go for an advantage, because after king g8, now the move is still queen c7, threatening this pawn and eyeing the check and coming back. And point is, now you can move queen e7. After f4, this pawn is protected. And in the next moves, you may come the king over here, or make this pawn move and this pawn move. And still you are this pawn over here. And white is very much better, although it is very difficult. So we come over to queen e7. As per Jeremy Silman's note, it is still winning for white. And here black goes for queen b1 check. Now king h2, queen into a2. Sorry, this is a draw. I have mistaken. King h2 and queen into a2. The reason behind is that this pawn is going to be fast enough to queen. And white takes the c pawn, and you can move your pawn over here. If you this still this position is very tricky, because if you immediately take this pawn, black immediately pushes his pawn to this b6, then white has the chances to win. For example, if we go for this b6, now what? h5 check first. After king g8, now queen d5 check, king h7, and now pawn moves to over here, c5, and this queen will have to move over here, and queen to c2, and you will do the same sequence of the moves, and you're going to pin this queen to this pawn. And how you can do it? Queen h5 check, king g8, now queen e8 check, king h7. Now you are going to again pin this queen a4, and you're going to push your pawn, and that is the way that who you are going to win this game. White on straightforwardly goes for queen e4 check, then it is a draw. The reason is that after king h6, now queen h4 check, king g6, and there's no way that white can make any progress in this. So after queen e4 check, if it is king h8, then how? Then white is bad. How we can do it? Same procedure. Queen e8 check. Now king h5 check, king g8, queen into c5, b3 by black. Now the same sequence you are going to use. Queen d5 check, king h8 for example. Now queen h5 check, king g8. Now the move is queen d5 check. After king h7, now you play the move c5. This queen is pinned to over here, and the queen will move to queen c2. You will do the same procedure, pin this queen, and then you will push your pawn. So I hope you have understood the concept of this position also, that how Capablanca was able to draw this game. If it was white's move, then he was already winning, but Capablanca was able that he judged that he does not, his one pawn is going to fall, but he needs this b file to be opened for his queen. So we move back to move next to our next example, and this example is about the pieces who are tombed, who are caged between their own pieces and opponents pieces. Here the bishop is just caged, and basically white is playing without a bishop. White is, white is playing just with his rook over here on d2, and black has to make the progress, and the point is that how he can make the progress. Here Jeremy Silman thought for a very long time, and he said that I came up to these three final positions. One was this, but still black can't enter in this position because these squares have been covered by the white pawns. Jeremy Silman said that he calculated, but the first position arised was like this, and black king can't enter. Now, he said this second position I calculated with the sequence of the moves, but here still black king can't enter because white king controls these squares, and this pawn controls these squares, and black king can't enter. After many calculations, then he said that I came to this move position, and still black was unable to enter because white king was controlling these squares, and white can just give moves of these bishop like this. Jeremy Selman said that when I have calculated all these positions, then I came back to my first position, and I understood that if this pawn, I hold this pawn over here on b4, and this bishop could move freely on this diagonal, then this king would be able to come from over here and enter this position in white's position. Still, it is a tricky one. Let's go with our Jeremy Silman's plan. He went out with the move a5. White has nothing whether to move his king or his bishop only. He is just hoping for the draw. Bishop b3, first controlling this diagonal. And he is going to play his pawns like this. Then when the time will come, he will exchange these rooks as this rook is controlling this c file and he can exchange this rook. This is the plan of the black. He may exchange this rook over here on c2. And then he is going to bring his king like this into the white's position. This was the plan Jeremy Silman thought. King f2, rook c1 first, taking away this rank from the white king. The bishop has to move only. Bishop g2, g5, blocking this king side, that there must be no activity in future. White played the move h3, now g4. If white takes this, then he is losing. So he plays the move h4. Now this king side is completely blocked. It is completely blocked, this king side. So the complete fight would be on the queen side. Now b5, bishop f1. White has nothing, just to play his bishop. King e6. Now first bringing the king over here, nearer to this queen side. Bishop g2. Now rook c2. Taking away the only defender of these pawns. King e1. White is saying that I am going to take with the king. Okay. Rook into d2. King into d2. Now b4. Into b4. Into b4. Now white has nothing to just move his bishop like this on these squares. Now king d5. Now the plan Jeremy Silman had in mind was that he's going to play the bishop like this. He's going to bring his king over here and then hit this pawn. Bishop king c4. Bishop f1. Bishop a4. Now this square is opened. e1. Protecting this pawn. King b3. King b1. Now how to continue? The point is that you are going to play your bishop. Bishop b5. Now white is in zigzag. If he plays the king over here, black enters in the position. If he plays the bishop, bishop takes this pawn, and then a time will come that this bishop will be out of the moves. White goes for king c1 first. King a2. Now king c2. Now bishop e4 check again. King c1. Taking this diagonal from the king. Now there are many ways to win this position. But Jeremy went for the beautiful way. And that was bishop d1. Reason behind is that this bishop is stormed, it can't do anything. If white takes this bishop, then king into pawn, king moves back, and this pawn is going to queen and win. So white play the move bishop g2 and bishop into e2. King c2 was played, and now first bishop d3 check. Taking control of this square, b3 by the white king. Now king c1, and here the move was b3, and white is again in zigzag. Whether he has to play the king or whether he is going to play the bishop. Bishop h1 was played, and now bishop f1. The point is that now if this bishop will move to g2, you are going to take it. If you play the king over here, then king into pawn, and this pawn is going to promote. And here Eddie resigned the game. This game occurred in Anchorage in 1993. I hope you enjoyed the today's video. If you enjoyed it, kindly subscribe and hit the bell icon button and also like it. Thank you very much.